All right, it's April 2024. This is our third installment of our financial update on our retirement journey. And what did this month feel like to you?
Maybe like a little bit like a roller coaster.
It did feel a little like a roller coaster. Actually, it feels more like that ride that you go to and it shoots you straight to the top. You're like, yes, that felt great. And then it drops you halfway and you want to
Yeah, maybe throw up a little
bit, and then shoots straight to the top again and then bottoms you out. That was April. It was brutal.
Yeah, stay tuned for that information. All right, so let's get started with our April budget. First one always being the savings rate. We try to prioritize savings first among anything else. It is our most important target that drives everything else. Our goal is typically about 38%, and we had a pretty amazing month. We actually had a whole 80%. Woo!
80%. So that's a rocket to the top on that carnival ride, right? You shoot right up. It was like, holy moly, we actually saved 80%. So there was a bunch of things that contribute to that. The first being that I got a raise, so that's good. So always good to get a raise. I also got a one-time disbursement from my company for a bonus, so that was great too. All that went to savings.
I got an extra paycheck.
She got an extra paycheck. We only budget for 2 paychecks a month, so anything, if you do it that way and you get paid bi-weekly, you get actually 2 extra paychecks a year, and you don't count that in your budget. You just take that and move it all to savings, and then it jacks up your savings rate. That's a tip out there. So we love that. So we got hers last month. Next month I get one, which is awesome in May. What else? Oh, we had $2,000, over $2,000 in dividends, interest, and side hustle, which was pretty good. It's the highest this year. So all that extra money we got this month, we didn't spend a penny. We didn't do Clark W. Griswold and buy a pool. We actually invested it.
Yeah.
All of it went into investments. We did not spend a penny of it. It actually all went into savings. So that's why the savings rate was so high. We did great.
And going off our cheat sheets here, we have spending budget target. So of course our spending budget target, our goal would be 100% if we could, but of course it's not going to ever be 100% probably. So actually we did about 11%, but that's still better than we did last month.
Yeah, 11% under is great. It's the lowest month we've had in a while. So, and we track this all the time, but we've only been putting these out here for a couple of months, but it is the lowest that we've been putting out here. Usually we try to kind of break even because we still want to play in our wants and our discretionaries. But if you can get under that, it's fantastic. And we did. We actually were 11%. So that 11%, instead of spending it, we saved it. So that contributed a little bit to that 80% savings rate.
Yep. And then we go off to talk about our non-discretionary and discretionary categories. Well, our goal is typically a 70-30. Our actual was about 65 to 35, not terribly bad.
No, it's pretty close.
But we did drive to Tennessee.
We did drive to Tennessee to see our new house being built.
Yeah, we might have eaten out a little bit more than normal.
Yes, you eat out more than normal. We hit some breweries. It's going to throw a little bit of that discretionary wants off. But hey, we're still 11% under. Still a win.
Absolutely. And that kind of brings us to our one-time expenses, which that would be the shoot down.
Yeah, so the carnival ride, we did good, right? We went to the top, and now we're getting jettisoned to the middle here, and that's not good. So we had to write a check to the federal government for $40,000 for capital gains taxes on a property we sold last year. That totally hurt. We knew the day was coming, but at least for 10 months or so, we at least were able to make money in a high yield savings account on it. So we got 4.6 or 4.7%, whatever it is. We got on that money that was sitting there that we knew we had to pay the government. We didn't pay them right away. We held it the entire time, so at least we could make some of it back. And then April 13th, we sent the check in to say, here's your money. 2 days shy, so we good stewards, but we sent it,
money.
But it was gone. So that wasn't good.
All right, moving on to something a little bit less sad. We have the spending of our top 5 non-discretionary categories.
Yes.
Similar to last month, propane heat, knew that was coming. Delivery truck came and left this little bill at the door, and hopefully we won't see it for a while.
I don't want to talk about them.
And then our household HOA. This is our new house. A little bit sooner than we thought was coming, but had to put that out there. It was due.
Yeah, we had a deposit that you have to put down a deposit for reserves in case you're delinquent and not paying. They pull from that. So again, it's fine. We put it out there.
Our grocery bill, not as bad as normal, probably because we were busy eating out in Tennessee.
Well, but we've done good, right? We started changing our shopping habits a little bit to try to. So a tip out there: your essentials, your non-discretionaries, you still can tweak those. You still can lower those if you try to. So we changed our habits of how we grocery shop. We started at Aldi's first. Yes. And then move to everything else after that.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
It saves so much money. The products are good. And anyway, yeah, it just saves so much money. So we've been able to drop it down 20% just by changing the way that we're shopping.
Yeah, and number 4, healthcare services. Again, just trying to pay off health bills that were previously at the beginning of the year. Yeah. Little monthly payment. It usually hits our top 5. Yeah. Hopefully not next year. And then gasoline, again, we don't normally spend a lot on gas. He works from home. I drive to work. But we went to Tennessee, and that's a lot of miles.
It is. Yeah, it's 1,050 miles or something like that each way. And then we're driving down there. So, yeah, it was a lot of extra, but it's still so much cheaper than flying in rent-a-car. Rent-a-cars are crazy. So, like, it was still saved so much money by doing it the way that we did it this way. Definitely the way to travel.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll make that money back next month because I just became remote as well. So I think it will work and we'll make that money back.
Which is a year ahead of schedule. We do have a retirement plan on the plan for next year, 2025. It's Cherie working remote. She already beat it by a year. So last month we did the car early by a year, and now we just did her job early from a year.
So I'm set up for the move.
Yeah, we're already ahead of schedule.
Yeah, very exciting. And then we go to our spending of a top 5 discretionary category. Vacations. Loved a vacation. We just came back from Tennessee. Didn't feel like a vacation, though. It was like quick 4 days. We're in and out.
But we do spend a lot of money annually on vacations, and it's important. It's important for our health, our mental health, our relationship health is super, super important. So we are frugal in some ways, but in other ways, we definitely make our money intentionally spend for fun and for our relationship. And that's part of it for us.
Yes, exactly. Dining out, no big surprise. We had to eat out pretty much almost, 2 meals a day when we were in Tennessee. If you can find a hotel that has free breakfast, more for it. I mean, it's going to save you a lot of money. And we made sure that was definitely on the menu when we went away. Alcohol, well, we like a occasional alcohol beverage. We may like to support the local brewers. So we did bring some beverages home from Tennessee.
Cases of beer back, yes.
And, after a long drive, it's nice to unwind with a beer. And then, of course, we cannot ignore the sports tuition. We still have not been able to kick that off the list. We are not done with dance season.
Nope.
So
we're never done with dance season.
Not for another year, at least. And then surprisingly, clothing made the list. But again, we have a daughter who required some new clothes. We have a graduation coming up, but like a school dance coming up. So there's just things that
it made the list. It usually doesn't make the list because we don't spend money on clothes anymore. I mean, but
everybody's grown. Nobody's growing out of stuff anymore.
So anyway.
All right, we can talk about investments. This seems to be more your category than mine.
All right, so investments. I'll try to go quick here. I like to nerd out on this stuff. So the first topic is our investment growth rate. Our target is 1.88%. And if anybody follows the stock market closely, they know that April was one of the worst months you can have in April. April typically is the second best month ever, like in the last 30 years. Like it averages 2% positive. This year we were 4% negative. So everybody took a hit. And we took a bigger hit because half of our money is in the S&P 500. The other half is in much riskier assets, which is technology and the NASDAQ 100. And they were down 5% and 6% respectively. It's bad. It was really bad. So on average, we were down 5% there just for our investments, but we saved so much money to put in there that it offset that our our rate was actually much lower than that. Thank gosh that we were able to do that. It was 2%, a little over 2%. So it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it still was bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. But I do like the opportunity to buy in when the market's bad. So in some ways, it's a good thing too that we had extra money that we were able to put in while the market was dropping. You buy in cheaper. There's a different way you can look at it that way. That definitely is a good way to buy in. Year to date, we're still up 10%. So that's pretty good. That's actually over what we expect to be. We expect to be about 7.5% right now, and we're actually up from that 2.5%. So even with the market dropping in a month that it shouldn't have dropped, we're still in good shape there for year to date. All right, we'll talk about our asset growth rate for our retirement. So we don't have a goal on this because you just never know what the market's going to do. We were down again because the market tanked. So we were down 3.8%. So it's a lot. But typically this happens in May. It just happened a month earlier. So typically, if anybody that follows the market, May is usually a bad month, and then June, and then August, September. There's certain months that are always bad. It just, we got a month early. So we'll see what May brings. Hopefully May will be a better month, but yeah, it wasn't a good month. So we're at minus 3.8. And some of that had to do with the payment we had to make as well for the capital gains, that we had to take that out of our accounts. That $40,000 we had to pay to the federal government. Right. So some of that was, contributing to it.
Definitely.
All right. So monthly new investments, excuse me. There was a bunch of new equities we bought into. Again, the market's down. We took advantage of that. Great companies that will, that's beat the S&P 500 over a 5-year stretch. If you look at it in the aggregate that way, real good, strong companies that we started buying into little by little. So yeah, I think there was 13 of them that we bought into, and then we bought deeper into other ones. Most of the stuff that we went deeper into was not individual equities. They were more of our 401k, 403b, our HSA. We went heavy into those.
All right. The good, the bad, the Uggs.
Well, before that, we got to do progress meters.
Oh, geez. Progress meters?
So our progress meters were both down. Our 59.5, our tax deferred accounts of when we can actually pull from that, was down 2%, which isn't bad considering the market was down 4%. We were only down 2%. It's not so bad. And the bridge was down 4%. That wasn't as bad either, since we had to pull $40,000 from that account and pay the federal government. And we have equities in that account too. So that was down 4% as well. So we were able to put enough money in there that it didn't offset too much into our bridge. The good thing is now all the money we have to give out is given out. We shouldn't drop unless the market drops. That's the only way that things are going to start dropping, is if the market drops. But at least we don't have any large payments we have to give out now that we have been giving out over the last 3 or 4 months.
Okay. Well, do I get to do the good and bad Uggs
now? You do.
Now?
Let's go.
Okay, awesome. Well, of course, I always love to talk about the good, and we did mention this earlier. It was a one-time compensation bump, an annual compensation bump.
Thank you, company.
A new career position, woo, and an all-time savings rate of the
80%.
Yes, 80%, and an extra paycheck.
Yeah, extra paycheck's great.
Yep. And then the bad, I don't really want to talk about that, so I'll let you do it.
All right, so stock market was down. I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's going to happen when you're in the game. It's going to happen. You just have to, don't pull your money out. So people will get scared, pull your money out. Don't do that. That's the worst thing you can do. Actually, it's a good opportunity to buy. Tried to allude to it a little bit earlier, but it's actually a good time to buy. I'm kind of almost happy in some way that it went down, and at a point that we got extra compensation, we were able to buy in at a cheaper rate. So it's going to go down a little bit more over the summer. Don't panic. Keep your money where it is. But it will go back up in the fall. It always does every single year. So market was down. We took some hits there. Our propane, I'm tired of paying the utility bills in New Hampshire here. I can't wait to move. And we missed our targets for non-discretionary, but we knew we were going to.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, we knew we were going to do that anyway. Once we knew we were traveling, we're like, well, we're going to eat out. We're going to buy beers. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, and then the UGS is pretty obvious. Obviously, it was that $40,000 check to the federal government.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Thank you, Uncle Sam.
So let's talk about next month's outlooks. We have an extra paycheck for you, which is going to increase our savings rate again.
Yep.
Possible one-time expense for an auto. We're really hoping to sell one of the vehicles that's been sitting in our garage for a bit.
Yeah, just an extra, again, it's extra things. It's in our plan for next year to do, but we're moving it up to be able to sell an extra vehicle we have. We're like, we don't need it, so let's get it back on the road and sell it.
We're going to hope to continue to dive deeper into individual equities.
Yep, just a few. I mean, the ones that we're starting to buy into, if the market, presents itself that we have down days and they're good companies, we'll continue to just buy in at discount prices.
And an increase in discretionary spending due to our cruise next week.
Yeah, we're going on a cruise. Yeah, within a week.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a cruise video. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, so we'll be on a cruise. So we're gonna obviously traveling. It's gonna throw off our discretion. We're gonna spend more in our discretionary than what we probably planned to do, but we hope to still meet budget. The plan is we meet budget.
It's always the plan. Well, if you have not met us, this is my husband Jim. My name is Cherie, and we are in an early retirement journey. If you like this video, you can hit the like button or maybe think about subscribing. I know that you wanted to do a shout out to somebody.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Steve at Steve's Retirement Corner. He actually talked about us in one of his videos. Something hit him about the way we talk about intentionally spending and the way we teach our kids about intentionally spending. And it's true. Like, we didn't really figure it out until we were in our 40s, but we really, really latched on to the idea of intentionally spending and not spontaneously spending, but really making sure that you make your dollar work for you. And that really hit them. And I'm happy it did. It's good. I mean, that's the whole purpose of why we made a channel, is to see if we can connect with other folks out there. And Steve's one of those that we love his channel. Binge every video that he has out there. It's great. So if you haven't watched him yet, please go watch him. I'll actually, put a link down into the description so you can get easier access to his stuff. But he's got a great perspective on retirement, and he's just a great guy.
Awesome. Well, until next time, have a great day.
Thanks.